Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you an update in Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Real-Time Index. This is the weekly chart. I am recording this, by the way, on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. This is for the week ahead. And I'd like to backtrack a little bit just to catch you up on what our thinking is, which hasn't changed a great deal in terms of the big picture since November, when we settled above this 5-year channel top that is now at 84,161. We closed above this the week of November 11th. We put out a high of 109,192, and then we broke back during all the tariff announcements, etc., back to the channel top at 84,161. This is rising weekly. It was a little different back then, but if I zoomed in, and I may, you could see that we never closed any weekly session back below this channel top after falling back to it. Now, we certainly violated it on an intra-week basis, but we never closed below it. And that actually, on a week-by-week basis, still maintained from November this target at 122,433, which is a full swing, as I like to call them. Basically, it's nothing more than taking the November 21 high, subtracting the November 22 low, and adding it to the November 21 high. 100% swing to the upside is 122,433. We've had that as a target since last November. Now, it was certainly put into question on an intra-week basis, if you recall, back in March or April, but at the end of every week, we never signed off, if you will, on a rejection of that buy signal. So still maintaining a bullish dynamic into later year above 84,161, expecting by the end of the year or sooner 122,433. Now, on the way up, we had these channel tops, as you might recall. I have been putting these up pretty much every week for the last couple of months. This week, the descending channel top at 99,314. We settled above it a month ago, and at that time, having closed above that channel top, then anticipating 122,433 sooner than later. I think I'd mentioned 2 to 3 months or sooner. We're a full month into it, and over the last couple of weeks, we've been, having trouble, if you will, sustaining upward momentum above 109,192, which is the January high of this year. Now, last week we pushed through it. We did not close above it, if we can close above it this week, 109,192, I think that is yet another secondary sign of strength that should, over the next month or two, result in our overall objective of 122,433, and I've combined this channel top rising at 124,795 as part of the objective. It's an objective anyway, and I'll take us back really to the original shot. It's an objective anyway, long-term, above 84,161. It became an objective midterm, 2 to 3 month target a month ago, above 99,314. And if we can close this week above 109,112, which we pushed through last week but did not close above, if we can close above 109,192 this week, then I think by the end of July, we should see this widening range, 122,433 to 124,795. And it really is this rising channel top, about a year in the making, that I think can contain quarterly, possibly annual highs. We can fall away from here for several months following a test of 124,795. And certainly, if we were to close any week above this rising channel top over the next several months, that's an accelerator of upward momentum where it becomes an increasingly mania-driven market, the hyperbolic rally, which we've seen before, of course, in Bitcoin. Moving on to this chart, if we do not close the week above 109,192, the market is susceptible to falling back to 99,314 over the next 3 to 5 weeks or sooner. 99,314 is the descending channel top we settled above a month ago, able to contain selling through June, through July, and above which 122,433 remains a 2 to 3 month target. If we were over the next month or two to close back below this descending channel top, that is a rejection of that midterm buy signal and does carry with it downward retracement back into the mid-80s, maybe even lower. 84,161 is still that long-term 5-year channel top. So if over the next month or so we close back below 99,314 and your time horizon is 1 to 2 months out, you may consider exiting your Bitcoin investment for the time being, as I would then expect 84,161 within a month to at the most, and quite possibly as far south as 75,578. And in fact, it is this newly formed channel bottom at 75,578 that I see as our base of support through the rest of the year, combined with 84,161. I don't expect to see this area anytime soon. I don't expect to see it at all, frankly, unless we close once again back below 99,314. And once again, I only expect to see a revisit, or at least allow a revisit of 99,314, unless we close this week, continue to close this week below 109,192. Once again, if we close above 109,192, our long-term objective at 122,433 is likely over the next month or two. And, you can combine that with this rising channel top. This is our overall objective over the next 2 to 3 months above 99,314. And I think by the end of July, if we close Friday above 109,192, I think I've pretty much said it all. Please click like, share, subscribe, free YouTube analysis. WickedStocks.com has a subscription that includes daily SPY, daily Triple Q analysis, a weekly Apple stock analysis, 2 stock picks a week, etc. So check us out at WickedStocks.com. I'll be back next week with another Bitcoin, and you have a great week.